Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff, and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are indeed a thing. Can I get a wee audio check in the chat, please? And I'll do some hellos. Budgie Burger was first in quite a while ago. Paper Lynn, Skywatcher Carlos, the wonderful Emma G, Steve Cray's here, but probably not for long because he's had a very long day. It's a Budgie Burger. Linda Hunter is dipping in from down under. Pagan's in. What about you, chum? Yes, Edmund actually is here tonight. All good. Streaky Bacon. What about you, chum? Julie's here. What about you, chum? Ha, audio proper strong one. Good. The mouse cat's in. Eleanor Wallenfly. What about you? Glad to have you aboard. Martin W is in. Rory Herbert. Evening, sir. Hasdak. What about you, chum? And that seems to be about everybody. Now, I've no idea where Sanson's at before everybody starts asking. Haven't seen or heard from him, which also means that I don't have the organised housekeeping. So, on a wing, I'm going to say Rags is probably streaming tomorrow night, somewhere 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever, with a guest, because that's what normally happens. John Davison, I'm going to guess Tuesdays and Fridays as and when he's update at 9 o'clock. Why, thank you, Eleanor. Every time I listen to it back, it sounds all nasally and a bit crap, but well, thank you for my pure East Belfast noise-making box. Yep, so John Davison. Dave's Waffle House, sporadic, unexpected streams over the weekend. I think he's streaming tomorrow afternoon at some stage, and every night at 8:30. Lovely chilled out stream, lovely people in the chat. It's all good. So if you want to chill out, there's a place to go. We've got a Willie in the firm as well. What about you, chum? Another channel that I want to shout out is, it's called Courage is the Cure. I'm going to put the link in the chat. This is a friend of my friend Luke who lives down under, and she puts out a hell of a lot of content, and it's all pretty, it's anti-establishment stuff would be the best way to describe it, but she does do good content, and I will be going on for an interview with her at some stage. We're just figuring out when and how, because obviously there's a big time zone difference. So I will keep you posted on that. There's a possibility it could be tomorrow morning. but I'm very doubtful of that because I haven't had any confirmation back. But it looks like whenever we do it, it's going to be a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. GMT. So there's all of that. Have I left anything out? Julie Parker's in. Welcome aboard. And I did say who has that. Martin W might be saying hello to you twice here. And if anybody's complaining about that, no, you're not all getting a second go at saying hello. I'm not going to do that. We finally's on the temperature. I hope that a night's sleep and a bit of Calpol sorts him out and he's better in the morning, Steve. Anything else that I had for housekeeping? No, not really. That's about the height of the housekeeping. And what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about Up Helly Aa, which is a festival that happens in the Shetland Isles. And I'm going to get the info on it up now. Here we go. Share that screen. Right. I need to check and see if I need to. Yeah, that's getting a bit of zoomage. View. Zoom in. I'll zoom out on again. There we go. And I want to go back and check the chat before I start. Yeah, that's if the stuff's already in your knicker and your boxers. Peter Batten's just arrived in. Edmund, how the hell did you get thrown out of the Shetlands? What did you do? That sounds like a pretty good story. Another Australian. Please let them hit rabbits. It was kangaroos I had the war with, and they lost. Our Pagan, what about you, chum? Right. So, the history of Helly Up. Or Up Helly Aa. Up Helly Aa is a relatively modern festival. There is some evidence that people in rural Shetland celebrated the 24th day of Christmas as a Thomas or Up Helly night, but there's no evidence that their cousins in Larwick, which is the capital of the Shetlands, did the same. The emergence of Yuletide and New Year festivals in the town seems to post-date the Napoleonic Wars, when soldiers and sailors came home with rowdy habits and a taste for firearms, as all good returning soldiers do. On Old Christmas Eve in 1824, they previously said it was a relatively modern festival. I'm thinking 1824 is quite a while ago. A visiting Methodist missionary wrote in his diary, the whole town was an uproar from 12 o'clock last night until late this night, blowing of horns, beating of drums, tinkering of old tin kettles, firing of guns, shouting, bawling, fiddling, fidgeting, drinking, and fighting. This was the state of the town all night, and the street was thronged with people as far as I ever did see in England. So this has been going on for a while. As Lerwick grew in size, the celebrations became more elaborate. Sometime around 1840, the participants introduced the burning of tar barrels to the proceedings. Burning of tar barrels, always good crack. Sometimes, as one observer wrote, there would be two tubs fastened to a great raft-like frame knocked together at the docks, whence the combustibles were generally obtained. 2 chairs were fastened to the bogie supporting the capacious tub or tar barrel. Each to these were 2 strong ropes on which a motley mob, wearing masks for the most part, fastened. A party of about a dozen was told off to stir up the molten contents. The main street of Lerwick in the mid-19th century was extremely narrow, and rival groups of tar barrelers frequently clashed in the middle. The proceedings were thus dangerous and dirty, and Lerwick's middle classes often complained about them. This is a very common thing, where the working classes will have cultural traditions and events, and the middle classes will demand that they either be stopped altogether or cleaned up to their sensibilities. The town council began to appoint special constables every Christmas to control the revellers, with only limited success. See, it's down to the amount of people versus the amount of police officers. When the end came for tar barreling in the early 1870s, it seemed to have been because the regions themselves had decided it was time for a change. Around 1870, a group of young men in the town with intellectual interests injected a new series of ideas to the proceedings. University educated people coming in, fucking about with working class people's stuff, as they always do. First, they improvised the name Up Helly Aa and generally postponed the celebrations until the end of January. Secondly, they introduced a far more elaborate element of disguise, guzzing, as it was called, in the new festival. Thirdly, they inaugurated a torchlight procession. Actually, that's quite good. I like a nice torchlight procession. So this is the torchlight procession that we're going to see in the video later is going back to 1870. At the same time, they were toying with the idea of introducing Viking themes to their new festival. The first sign of this new development appeared in 1877, but it was not until the late 1880s that a Viking longship, or the galley, appeared. And as late as 1906, the Guzzler Jar, the chief gunner, arrived on the scene. It was not until after the First World War that there was a squad of Vikings and the Guzzler Jar squad in a procession every year. Up to the Second World War, Up Helly Aa was overwhelmingly a festival of young working class men, and during the Depression years, the operation was run on a shoestring. In the winter of 1931-32, there was an unsuccessful move to cancel the festival because of the dire economic situation in the town. At the same time, Up Helly Aa Committee became a self-contained organisation which poked fun at the pompous and the by then long established Up Helly Aa bill, sometimes driving their victims to fury. Since 1949, when the festival resumed after the war, much has changed and much has remained the same. That year, the BBC recorded a major radio programme on Up Helly Aa, and from the moment Up Helly Aa, noted for its split-second timing before the war, became a model of efficient organisation. Right, so these people are actually very good at what they do. The numbers participating in the festival have become much greater, and the resources required correspondingly larger. Whereas in the 19th century, individuals kept open house to welcome the Guzzlers on Up Helly Aa night, men and women now cooperate to open large halls throughout the town to entertain them. So it's went from in people's houses to inside community centre type things. For the first time in 2023, Up Helly Aa Guzzlers were able to manage their squads in keeping with the spirit of the fair. This is an interesting sentence. For the first time in 2023, Up Helly Aa guzzlers were able to manage their squads in keeping with the spirit of the festival with no gender restrictions. I don't know how a festival that was devised, organised, participated in by working class men, how it's in keeping with that spirit that they put females into the squads of people that walk up and down. I'm not saying I don't think that the women should be there. I think that this is a very strange sentence that they put in, and the thing in keeping with the spirit of the festival is in fact bullshit. The decision to relax a long-standing custom was taken by the Lerwick Up Helly Aa committee after members discussed how to take the event forward following the 2-year absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes. Despite the change over time, there are numerous threads connecting the Up Helly Aa of today with its predecessors of 150 years ago. And with that, I'm going to get a little clip of this on YouTube so we can all have a watch. One momento. There you go. That's what it looks like. So there you go. I want to say a very big welcome to. Yes, Freak, it does. It looks like a very very nice festival. Rev is on the way. Good. A very big welcome to everybody that's just arrived from Reverend Simon Sideways. Really appreciate you coming over. I hope you get something from this, and I hope you enjoy it. And I am also going to attempt to, view my channel. Right, here we go. Right, we've got that done. Yes, please subscribe. That would be good. Where's that other one I say? Somebody said about my Irish accent. It's, well, to be fair, it's a East Belfast accent in Northern Ireland. Are you off again? Yes, back to Rev's channel. Okay. Well, tell myself thank you very much for coming along. Right, Rev, welcome. If you want to jump on, hold on, I get the invite. Copied. Rev, and only Rev, if you want to jump on and say something to your people, you're very welcome. There's the link in the comments. And I'm in the process of doing something else. Here we go. Where is Reverend Simon Sedways' comment? Right, Rev. Good evening, sir.
Evening, boss. How are you?
Doing great. How's yourself? Thank you very much for bringing your people along.
I thought we'd raid the fuck out of your channel.
Yep. Right. Here, Rev, I have just made you a mod. I don't want you to do any moderating, but it means that if you want to drop links in to let your people escape, you're able to do that. And we don't have the thing like the last time where I didn't realize I had to put something in.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I just went. We had your channel, another channel, another channel. I went, do you want boring drama? Do you want mindless fuck? Or do you want some severe right-wing fucking policies? And they went, severe right-wing. And I went, right, we're off to yours. That was it.
Yeah. It's actually quite tame tonight. We're looking at a festival that occurs in Shetland where they burn a Viking ship and walk about with...
well, can I interview you?
Certainly.
Right. What got you into this?
Notting Hill, the Notting Hill Carnival. I'm living in Belfast.
Right.
And on my local news, I'm getting updates for Notting Hill Carnival. Right. And it's not like I can take a quick swim across the channel and go to it.
Nope.
But I was never seeing anything about the news of any traditional British events.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, fuck, I'm going to have a look at this. So every week I started looking for our smaller traditional events. And there hasn't, I've done over a year of it, and there hasn't been a week where there hasn't been a traditional event that has not been publicized to everybody else.
So your religion, out of interest?
I would say I'm pagan, but I'm from East Belfast, from a Protestant background.
Right. And your entire point of politics, why are you doing, or why are you talking about what you're talking about now? What drives you?
I'm being asked to play a song. I might do that in Manalama. Because we keep getting told that Britain doesn't have a culture. We keep getting told that we're just, I don't know, look, our culture doesn't exist some way. And we do. We have very strong cultural traditions. And they're not lost. They're not gone. They're just misplaced. And the first part of getting people back to their roots and their cultures is to make sure that they know what's going on. So if you go...
If I want to be British, I have to travel over to you to do British. That's how it is. And I've traveled over 3 times, and it's eroding every time, which is a shame. First time I went over there, it was full of white and red crosses.
Yeah.
It was the painting on the curves, and everything seemed fucking... It was like we're having a wedding in England again, and I loved it. And I fucking pissed me off because it's not the same now.
Yeah. It's like everything else. They're trying to sanitize everything. Also, with the way things are going over here, there is, from the people, there's a love of everything British, but from the government, from the council, from all that stuff,
Storm and scum.
Yeah. Oh, they are absolute scum. And
I hear they're all fucking... They got people fucking protesting now from unions outside there now. And every fucking literal fucking... I hate the cunts. They're giving away power every time they open their mouth.
Oh, here's the big thing. Our unions stopped being interested in British workers a very long time ago. They are, oh, it's not even that, mate. They are, the people at the top are ideologically driven.
You mean Marxist?
Yes, totally.
That's
And the other interesting thing, because I'm in Unite the Union, and whenever the last leadership election came out, there was the guy who's always been the leader, has been for years, and he has all his cronies that are there to support him. Of the union members, approximately 5% of the union members voted because they don't think that they can make any change. And then this wanker
that's the modern day situation that we all are in. I mean,
Yeah.
when you look at, you know, Sadiq Khan, he got in with 120% of the election, yet the Jews didn't get a vote. Some of the Christians didn't get a vote. You know, how did 120% of people turn out when you could only get 100% at best, right? Your election's over there. Most people don't rock up because they know it's rigged, right?
Oh, the extent to which our elections are rigged is fucking amazing.
I know it's rigged because at the end of the day, a lot of the people there are coerced.
Oh well, it's not even that. See, what's more important, the people cast the votes or the people count the votes?
Do you know what I hate? Is all the fucking Marxist cunts that used to fucking say we'll bomb the Brits outright for a fucking United Ireland. Fuck you, you coward cunts. This is what I'm saying to you now. You fucking literal cunts. I don't mind you fighting us if you'd have had your country to yourself, but you want to give it to fucking Europe, and then you want to give it to all these fucking usurping fucking foreigners that want to rape and stab you. You're some sort of cunt. That's where I am.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm coming over to your country this year, so if you've got a fucking problem, you come and see me.
The other thing is, like, they, according to Sinn Féin, Fine Gael,
Shin gay and feel fucking pointless.
Right? Yeah. As soon as you get off that boat and breathe in that fresh air, you're Irish. But if you're British,
hang on a second. Because bearing in mind, some side of my family were Southern Irish and the other rest were fucking Northern Irish. But if I get my transit van and poke it straight into the bottom end of Ireland, immediately I'm Irish. I'm going to fucking use that.
Oh, no, but you're not, because you're a planter. It doesn't matter how many generations your British people have been here, they are planters.
By the way, what's Ref's thoughts on Conor McGregor, globalist? Sorry.
Yeah. I haven't heard very much of McGregor.
I don't want to fight the cunt, and I know he doesn't like Ireland being fucked over, but he's still a globalist. If he goes too far, he loses everything. No.
He'll be allowed to...
Or is the wrong colour, Rev? What do you mean? I'm just interested. At the end of the day, I mean, here's the thing. Ireland, if Ireland fought the British and won and had Ireland for itself, I would say fair enough. And that's where I stand, right? Now, I want Northern Ireland to stay part of the Union forever. That's where I am, right? That's what I believe in, right? However, I understand people down the south and people who are Catholic and other people that want the Brits to be rid and gone. I get this, right? To give it up to the fucking European Union? You're mental? No, fuck that shit.
Yeah, no, it's really weird. The supposedly Irish nationalists pulled a massive
by the way, you know your supposedly Irish nationalists, were they the same supposed Green Party that we had came here in mass that were sent down from a certain area to do what they did.
But
by the way, can I ask if anybody agrees with what I'm saying, right, from Northern Ireland or Ireland or whatever? Can you put one in the comments, because I could be on my own here, and I don't mind if I am, but I'd like to know if any of you agree with me.
Yeah, well, I put it on. The thing about it is, it turns out if you make your platform and you say that you're a Marxist and you want to have a globalized Ireland or a globalized Britain or whatever, and break it all up, that doesn't sell so well. But if you say you're an Irish nationalist but have all those policies, that sells.
I fight for Ireland.
Yeah, it's the first line of Jerry Adams's autobiography is
that piece of shit.
Yeah, well,
him and Mike McGuinness, what was it? MI6 and MI5 corrupt. One's a nonce and the other's got nonce fucking family members, and every one of you is bent.
Yeah, well, IRA actually stands for I rape anyone.
Exactly that. Full of nonsense.
But the first line of his autobiography is, I need to be very clear, I'm not an Irish nationalist, I am a communist. You know, they were all communist Marxists from the very start.
Here's the thing. I never understood communism, right? Because when I listened to the pure communists over there, they went, well, we're communist under a socialist state. I went, socialist, communist. There's a difference in that? No. You're all pieces of shit under the same banner. So let me guess. You want to bring everybody down to your level because you're not able or hardworking enough to raise up to somebody else's. Fuck you.
That's exactly it. The only way it's not even so much that they want everybody in Britain to be at a certain level, everybody in America to be on a certain level. They want everybody in the world to have the same amount of resources. And there's no way you're bringing Africa up to the standard of Europe, but you could.
There's a bunch of people that measure certain levels of stuff. Can't call them certain measurements, but you know what people I'm on about, right? And other globalists who have sat there and said, for us to let Africa flourish under the wealth of its resources would bankrupt us. We can never let this company or country get out of the third world because it would cripple our financial interests. We have to keep these people bankrupt and fucking broke for us to make our money. And I'm like, how could you do that, you cunt? And people, they would stay there and say, they would go, well, because of our beliefs that you get your tires for your car, which I've just bought for £75 a piece, rather than £85 a piece. Well, I'll pay fucking £85 a piece. I'm not a monster.
But
you know what I mean?
the biggest problem in Africa is corruption.
Yeah, basically, it's everybody in there is a low-bred fuck lunatic who wants to rip their own nationals off. I mean, I don't get this. I mean, fucking your own cousin up or whatever it is, don't get it. That's Africa.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you, I know a guy who went over there was far left, building wells, you know, making sure they had clean drinking water. So he did all this, right? Anyway, 3 weeks later, he went back and there was no well, no drainage, no whatever. But all had been sold for a Kalashnikov. And he went, do you know what? Fuck these. And he said a name. And he turned into a right winger overnight. And that was a hard left.
Yeah, I remember Top Gear did a show in Africa, and they were going to go across this big salt plain in normal cars. And next thing, there's a guy arrives in one of those like paraglider things, and he's got about 10 people with him on 4x4s. That was the vice president with his bodyguards. And I'm thinking, you're not wanting for anything, but your people fucking are. And that's where the problem is.
Now, in the old days, I think in Roman days, the difference between poor and rich was 7 stages or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And when we came to the beginning of the 19th century, it was 1 to 50, 1 to 100 or something stupid like that. But the difference between us now our wealth and the super rich is you can't measure, right? Now, I don't want people not to be rich. It would be the worst idea in the world, right? Because if they're making money, they've got an interest in continuing making money. If they're making money, we'll make money. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So keep the rich happy. Because at the end of the day, some of us aren't that bright. The rich are there are certain parts of the rich that aren't evil that are incredibly bright. There are some bad rich, by the way. But the good rich that want to make stuff and design stuff, I don't want to get in their way. I want them to make money. I don't want them to involve me in their making money. That's it.
The people who can innovate, go in, build a factory, fill it with people, give those people a good wage, and let them have a life, pay them enough that they can actually afford to buy a house. They have lifted more people out of poverty
and than anything,
than any social welfare system.
Right. Henry Ford became a Nazi, right?
Yeah. Well, I think he started off in that.
Before he became a Nazi, he went, so my people are on $3.5 and I can't get them to stay because the job's shit. So tell you what, let everybody know that I will make them $5 week people. I think it was something like that. Tomorrow, he had 10,000 people rock up for the same job they walked out on. Because at $5 a week, they were going to become rich. And he knew this. His other people around him who were, as Ragnar would say, the wood measurements, right? These were the same people that were the globalists that went, you offer these people money, this will be bad for us. And he went, I offer these people money, they will stay. I won't have to train more. It will make money for me. And they will have to, by the way, because they're all immigrants, I will train their house. They will have to speak the language. They'll have to do all the. And there was a lot of things that I go through to become an American and gain that $5. But they gained that $5. Oh, they went from nothing and they got $5 a week and they got themselves out the shit and they got the American dream.
They had ceremonies in a big field after something like 5 months.
Remember, they all jumped into the pot and came out like little Americans, didn't they?
They rocked up in their national dress
outfits, and when they came out, they had a black suit on, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had all the old traditional food on one side.
You didn't know I knew that, did you?
I didn't. I only heard about it quite recently, but the other thing Ford did, like, he would have went down the line and said, can a man with no legs do this job? Right.
And if he can, employ the cunt.
Yeah, find me man with no legs to do this job. Can a man with one arm
do it? Right. Yep. And this was the thing that Hitler did, by the way. And I'm not going to big up Hitler, but Hitler said, all these people that are not working, can we not find work for them? And that's not being cruel, because there's one guy in it that's watching this at the moment called Roger, right? And he says, and he's not well enough to work at the moment, I would wish to work if I could.
Yeah.
Now, go back to then, right? There's a lot of people then, you didn't have national insurance, you didn't have unemployment benefit. If somebody said, right, well, you've got nothing and your family are looking after you and all you're doing is the worst possible jobs, right? If somebody said, you want an arm, I'll give you work. You're worth $3.5 or $4 a week if you're good with your one arm. Fuck me, son, you're going to work.
Yep, it's absolutely crazy. There's a
I bet you didn't know any of this about me, did you? Or thinking,
no, I didn't. No, I didn't. But to be fair, I only know about
this. Tell everybody everything about you, right? The thing is, I've got to appeal to people, right? You've got to get your average person involved, and when you do, then you tell them more.
Yep. Oh, here, do you want to hear my little song?
Go on.
It's a collaboration. I will get this up. I think you'll like this, and your fans will like this. Hold on. Video 5.
So, at what point did you realize you were being raided?
Whenever I flicked off what I was reading,
Yeah, because we were watching you done like 32. I went, let's do it.
yeah, because whenever I'm actually reading something, I can't see the StreamYard stream.
So you know when you came back, you went, because I mean, I would have gone away with 32 people watching me and come back with it was 96 or 150 and gone, there's something going on here. My lot love to do that to you and others, by the way, but they stay subscribed after that, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Where's this file not working? Eat the bugs.
I am going to go and crash Chris the Bricks in a minute. Right, we've trashed you. Right. We need to crash Chris the Brick. He's brain dead, by the way. And he tried to challenge me a few days ago. I did slaughter him, but I thought it'd be a bit funny to go in there and slaughter him some more. Do you mind if I borrow your chat for 2 seconds?
Not a problem.
Right,
you do that, and what I want to do is get this.
Should we go and crash Chris the Brick because he doesn't know what's coming? If you want me to crash Chris the Brick, say C.
Go to that, and I will get my.
I'll get you a link, by the way, people. Look at them; they're all ready for the next absolute fucking. Do you know what? 42. You should literally finish up this. Come over and gate crash Chris the Brick just for crack. And it is crack. And that's why it's going to be, because it's not an intelligent conversation, let me tell you.
Right. 1 second. Why is this not showing? This is.
Right, he's got 18 watching. Let's fucking wreck the cunt. I'm going over there anyway.
Right. Okay, right.
Please come over. 40.
Right. I'll come over a bit and then come back. What am I trying to find?
By the way, it's pure drama. There's no intelligence to be gained from this. Nothing. It's pure carnage. All right. That's what we're going for.
Right. Okay. Drop the link and we'll go over there and then I'll come back and finish up here.
No worries. I've got to be honest. I think they all want to sit with you because there's only one that's gone over. That's good. I'm going to go over there and abuse shit out of him. So the other day, he was like, you haven't got the guts to come on. And I'm busy sat in bed and watching. I'm like, really? So I abused him a bit. And then I just came on and really finished the job off. Jesus, he's losing subscribers. Fucking hell. Right. Well, I'm going to fuck off. No link, Rev. I've put the link in the chat. No? Drop the link.
I don't think it came up.
Right. I'll try again. Copy. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to paste that. Tell me if that's the link. Because that's where I'm going to go over and let me know if it works. No link, Rev is a spastic. Yes, I know I'm a spastic. Tell me, it's there. I don't fucking. Anybody got a link?
Hello, this is 42 speaking. Welcome to the Resistance. Got a music while we're finding a link. Oh shit, man. Eat the bugs. You got me wrong. You got me so wrong. You ever seen a cave drawing of somebody with a spear hunting a mosquito? Well, me either. We eat meat and we have choices. You think the hedgehog right? It tastes like chicken. Fucking chicken. I am eating your bugs. I ain't eating your bugs.
Right, apparently that'll be the link.
I'm never going back. I'm not getting on your progressive track. With Agenda 2030, I refuse to engage. I can see where it's going, and it's just
That
another.
work?
I've got hedgehog, I've got rabbit, I've got wild hog. Fuck it. I could even move to Alaska and get me
No,
an
we can if that's working. Yeah, that's definitely working. So,
Fuck it. I'm not eating your bugs. They're trying to take away what I worked so hard to get, so I'm going to say no to your cattle cod trade. Eat the bugs, live in some communal pod with no fucking privacy, own nothing and be happy. I've seen the people with nothing and they don't look happy. Eat the bugs, live in some communal pod with no fucking privacy, own nothing and be happy.
well, I'll jump out. When I find the link, I'll post it in the comments.
Wait. Fuck it. I'm not eating your bugs. Fuck it. I'm not eating your bugs. Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh shit, man. You got me wrong. You got me so fucking wrong. There are millions of us in the UK, billions worldwide, unvaccinated, striding out into our third winter of death with not a care in the world. Eating pig, eating cow, eating chicken, and we will not conform. Fuck it. I'm not eating your bugs. Hey, Klaus Schwab, this is 42, and I want the word with you. Motherfucker.
We have an opportunity for the great reset. Technology is a critical weapon. History is truly an turning point. We can shape a better world, and we will reglobalize to make it a better place. So will all learn, and so will live, and so will eat the bugs.
You haven't got me talking. Where's United Nations in charge of Stonehenge? Keeping me away from the stones? That's not world heritage, that's British heritage. You're getting to a point where the people just want to be left alone and going to get involved. Tell me again, where's United Nations running Stonehenge? Fuck it. Stonehenge New Games a fucking Perry Mountain Range now owned by UNESCO, so you and I can never go. From your 15-minute cities and your Internet of Things, we are going back to nature, see what that life brings. We had a good look at the farming we did, so we hook up with the Woodlander and take our shit off grid. Fuck it. We hook up with the Woodlander and take our shit off grid. Fuck it. We hook up with the Woodlander and take our shit off grid.
This is 42 speaking. Welcome to the Resistance.
Fuck it. There we go. That was Eat the Bugs by Just Kane featuring 42. There you go. I'm looking on the private chat. No, the link's not there. I don't know where the link for the Rev is. He said whenever he got it, he was going to come back. The link for the song is going in now. So there you go. That's that. And thank everybody that come over from Reverend Simon. Always nice to have you here. Feel free to subscribe. Come back any Saturday night, 10:30. You'll get British history, culture, traditional stuff, and as you've heard, I'm on the right. I don't believe in politically correct stuff. I believe in being factually correct, which is totally different. And I hope you all enjoyed that. Now, Rags, are you still in here? And do you have the link for where Rave's going to? No, don't be eating no caterpillars. Linda Hunter, I believe you'll find that you are here. That's a very good question. I don't know where Rave's gone. He said he was going to come back. Yeah, but he needs to give us the link so we can all go there. That was the plan. I honestly don't know, mate. And the other thing is, I've only got the StreamYard chat, which means that whenever it did come up and I posted on the screen, I wasn't able to copy and paste it. And because there's so many people in, the chat moves quite quickly. I don't think I can get back to it. I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to attempt to. Let's see if I can find that link so I can post it. That's a song link. No, can't. So I guess you're all stuck here unless Rev comes back. I have to remember and take into account Rev used to drive a Capri. I had a Capri for a while as well. Right. What was I going to do before all this madness happened? Yes, I know. I was going to talk. What are you not getting whenever you search for it? Is it the channel Rev's going to? Oh fuck. I don't know. Yeah, the Brick Channel. I have no idea. I have no idea what it's called. We've got brick jokes ready and everything, and you can't unleash them. If I had any idea where it was, I would search it and get you the link, but it's not. No. It's, right, so if you're here and have that link, be a love and jump it into the chat. It's a song. Right. That apparently is the link. Right. Here we go. It's Reverend Simon Sideways. Mate, I can't because see in StreamYard, I can read it, but I can't copy it and paste it. I would need to go back to the YouTube chat, and it's way past where the YouTube chat will let me go back to. Right. I'm going to attempt to search for this. Chris the BRICK. Hold on. We may be getting somewhere. Nope. If that is the channel, he's not there because they ain't live at the minute. Right. Our pal Chris would be on our side. He's to the right. And I'm going to talk a little bit about British historical festivals because that's what we do about here. And also rectify some of the bad reporting. If the rave comes back, we'll get that link up for you all. And this is about Imbolc. Imbloc is a pagan hell. Fuck, I want to check and see what this is like on the screen. I will do. Give it one of the zooms. Imbloc is a pagan holiday celebrated from February the 1st through sundown February the 2nd, based on pagan traditions. See, this is not a Celtic tradition because whenever this tradition was alive and well and working, the Celts had yet to arrive in Britain, so it can't be a Celtic festival. Imbloc was meant to mark the halfway point between winter solstice and the spring equinox. In Neolithic Ireland and Scotland, also in Britain, the holiday is celebrated by Wiccans and other practitioners, neo-pagan, pagan-influenced religions. Imbloc is just one of several pre-Christian holidays, highlighting some aspects of winter and sunlight and heralding the change of the seasons. Whenever we worked from
Stonehenge is a mysterious ancient monument.
Right. Get that out of here. Sorry. It auto started the video for me. Whenever we were hunter gallerying and all that sort of stuff, the seasons were very important to us. So this is what we did. The celebration of Imbloc dates back to pre-Christian era in the British Isles. The earliest mentions of Imbloc in Irish literature were found in the 10th century. Poetry from that time relates a holiday to use milk with the implication of purification. It has been speculated that this ritual seems to be a breeding cycle of sheep and the beginning of lactation. The holiday was traditionally linked with the first day of spring and the idea of rebirth. Now we're going to talk about Bitchute the goddess. Imbloc celebrations took the form of a festival in honour of the pagan goddess Bitchute, who was evoked in fertility blessings and oversaw poetry, crafts, and prophecy. Bitchute was worshipped by the Filled, a class of poets and historians among the people of ancient Ireland, because there were no Celts in ancient Ireland. They didn't arrive until 250 BC. Bitchute was considered one of the most powerful Celtic gods, the daughter of Darda, and the oldest god in the Celtic pantheon, Tuatha Dé Danann. She had two sisters named Bitchute, though it's speculated that these sisters are meant to symbolize different aspects of the same goddess, because who's going to have three children, give them all the same fucking name? Exactly nobody. Bitchute appears in the Save of Calf Mar Tour and the Don't Speak Leprechaun, a purported history of Ireland collected from various poems and texts in the 10th century. And the reason why it's a purported history of Ireland is because there's none of it's fucking true. Myths about Bitchute say that she was born with a flame in her head and drank the milk of a mystical cow from the spirit world. Bitchute is credited with the first keening, a traditional wailing for the dead practiced at the funerals by Irish and Scottish women. In pre-Christian times, Imbolic observance began the night before February 1st. Celebrants prepared for a visit from Bitchute to their homes by crafting an effigy of the goddess out of bundles of oats and rushes. The effigy was placed in a dress and put in a basket overnight. The day of Imbloc was celebrated by rituals including burning lamps and lighting bonfires. As we have seen with our previous thing, bonfires were pretty big in our culture. Fire was thought to cleanse and get things ready for the coming year. There would also have been a form of hand tying at these festivals, where people would take a bride for a year and a day and disappear out into the woods and the wilderness to procreate. And with that, I'm going to take a look at the chat. I've still got 108 people here. Right. Okay. Over the centuries, Bitchute was adopted into Christianity as St. Bitchute, one of Ireland's three patron saints. Ireland does not have three patron saints. It's got one, because Bitchute is the only one that was recognised by the Church of Rome and canonised. And unless the Church of Rome canonises you, you are not a fucking saint. Patrick is not a saint. The Catholic Church claims Bitchute was a historical person with accounts of her life written by monks dating back to the 8th century. Bitchute is the patron saint of Irish nuns, newborns, midwives, dairymaids, and cattle. Whether or not she existed, these stories contain aspects in common with the details of the pagan goddess and illustrate the transition from pagan to Christian worship. Yes, because we would not just take pagan festivals, traditions, and thoughts and wholesale turn them into Christian ones. We just simply would not do that. For a religion that preaches thou shalt not steal, they've sure got a lot of the pagan stuff. Like the goddess Bitchute, St. Bitchute is associated with milk from the fire. Born in Ireland around 453 AD, St. Bitchute was the daughter of a slave and a chieftain who was celebrated at the early age of her agricultural knowledge. This would fit in quite well with the actual proper history, because the Celts arrived in Ireland 250 BC. By 425, they did have chieftains and stuff here, and would have for about another 50 to 60 years before the Vikings turned up and kicked the shit out of them. With no interest in marrying, Bitchute's goal was to create a monastery in Kildare, supposedly a former site to a shrine of a Celtic goddess. Wasn't a Celtic goddess. we didn't have those of the same name. Bridget lived her entire life there. What they do in the rewriting of history, what they do is they take pre-Christian people from Britain and Ireland and call them Celts. St. Bridget is said to have died at 524 AD. The remains of her skull and hands are claimed to be in the possession of churches in Portugal. Sorry, I had the cough there. In the 12th century, legend holds it that the nuns in Kildare attended a fire built in St. Bridget's honour. Fire had burned for 500 years and produced no ash, and only women were allowed in the proximity of the fire. So we had feminist crazy bitches even back then. The celebration of St. Bridget's Day on February the 1st was put in place by the church to replace Imbloc. On her feast day, an effigy of St. Bridget in Kildare is traditionally washed in the ocean, surrounded by candles to dry, and stalks of wheat are transformed into cross talismans known as Bridget crosses. The modern celebration in Imbloc is considered low-key, loose, and sometimes private affair concerned with reconnecting with nature. As I said before, by people buggering off into the woods or the fields to procreate. Since it's a climate-specific holiday, some followers of the Wiccan religion adjust their celebration to correspond with a date more appropriate to the coming of spring where they live. Others embrace the symbolism of the holiday and keep it in February the 1st. The goddess Bridget is central to the celebrations of modern Wiccans in their tradition of the original Pagan festival. Wiccan groups worship Bridget that might include fire rituals and Imbloc. Traditions from both pagan celebrations and Imbloc and the Christian celebrations on St. Bridget's Day can be found in the modern Imbloc celebrations. Celebrants sometimes make a Bridget cross out of reeds, as well as a Bridget corn doll or an effigy. Now, very quickly on Candlemas. Candlemas is a Christian holiday celebrated on February 2nd that has aspects in common with Imbloc. It's a celebration can be traced to the 4th century Greece as a purification holiday and a celebration to the return of light after the winter's darkness. Candles have traditionally been used in its observance. It is possible that Candlemas is a Christian adaptation of the Roman holiday Fumbrella, a purification and cleansing celebration. So that is Imbloc and what we would traditionally have done at this time of the year. So there you go. There's only 26. There's only 26 and Simon's been and gone. Yeah. Well, my chat's telling me I've got 86. Yep. Always make sure I cover all the British saints. No, mate. No Bonnie Lad. No Sanson. I'm just checking through the chat. All right. What are we on? We're on 109. I think what I'm going to do is going to have a little musical interlude. I'm going to find a song. I think we'll have a sea shanty. And then I'm going to put the link in and we'll have a couple of, we're going to do a call in, but it's going to be like one, possibly two people at a time and talk for 10, 15 minutes and then get somebody else in is how this is going to work tonight. That's how we had envisaged the call-ins going, but I've been quite crap at changing the keeping it that. But that's how it's right. We'll just go back to the start of that. StreamYard, present, share screen, share screen.
Oh, we'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. We'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. We'd be all right if the wind was in our sails. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the horn. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the horn. Oh, it'd be all right if we make it around the horn, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Well, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, and we'll all hang on behind. Well, another festival wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, another festival wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, another festival wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind.
Right, there we go. Anybody wants to come in for a chat, links in. Say I'll be taking you in one, possibly two max at a time. Have a bit of a chat, swap it out, get somebody else in. Is the plan. That's hoping that we get some. Budget, I played Rave, my song. Ha! RPA, no mud floods, no flat earth. Right? We're not doing that again. It was funny, but we're not revisiting. Some things you should only do once. Anybody, any questions that would like answered while we're waiting somebody coming in, stick them in the chat. Please note, if it's too weird, I will be ignoring it because it was fucking hilarious, Toffee. It was. I have to admit. But it could be a dinner plate. I'm not going there. Everything else looking around the earth, not. I don't know. I honestly don't know. My biggest problem is that I no longer believe the scientists about fucking anything, which is quite scary. Don't believe the doctors. Don't believe the scientists. Don't believe the politicians. A good starting point in life is that's exactly what I thought. A good starting point in everything is don't believe anything the government tell you. This is exactly what happens whenever you live in the truth. You know, this is why the whole debate about trans is important, because we're now at a stage where doctors can't tell you the difference between a male and a female by physical examination. And that is a very scary prospect, because the same people that are giving you treatments based on whether you're male or female are the people that's trying to cure you of diseases, help your health, fix all that sort of stuff. And if they can't tell whether you're male or female, how do they know what to prescribe you and what not to? The earth is what it is. Who knows? I can't reconcile any model to the reality I see. I'm not a flat earther. I'm a global skeptic. I don't know what the fuck the crack is, but I know I'm not totally believing our scientists. Mr. Packer, what about you, chum?
Hello, mate. Emma said I should come on, so I'm not going to argue with her. Get you in trouble.
Yeah. Well, Emma's very rarely wrong. I had a listen to your interview.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Yeah, it was
mate.
already up. I didn't know.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be live, so we could go and watch it live, but that wasn't the case.
Nah.
But yes,
No,
really
he's
enjoyed
a
it.
really nice bloke, though, to talk to. Obviously, I spoke to him more than he's edited, but yeah, he's a really nice bloke.
So you were having all sorts of joint issues, and this
Yeah.
dad has fixed it.
Yeah, well, I don't think that the diet itself fixed the joint issues. It's not eating seed oils. It's not consuming seed oils are real bad for you.
Right, what are seed oils?
Rapeseed oil, vegetable oils, all vegetable oils. We're not meant to
Right.
eat them. Vegetable oil was originally invented to oil farm machinery.
Right. So what do you cook your meat in?
Lard or butter or
Right.
beef tallow.
Right. That's the stuff we used to use.
Yeah, yeah. Back in the 50s and the 60s, when people weren't hideously obese and dropping dead from heart attacks.
No, the
then.
70s. The 70s, whenever I was growing up, my mother had a big block of lard.
Yeah, and do you remember how fat we weren't then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So all the time they've been telling us stop eating fat, it makes you fat. We stopped eating fat and everyone got fatter.
Yes. Right. So my first step along this would be to go buy myself a big block of lard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, get rid of seed oils. If you've got bad joints, stop eating seed oils.
Right.
But you will need to be a bit careful about it. You will have to read the ingredients on things because it turns up in all corn oil and stuff like that. It turns up in all kinds of stuff. Read the ingredients.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing that already because I want little. I'm a cheese. You eat all meat anyway. Yeah, I'm halfway to where you are.
That's good.
Yeah. Although I still eat potato and stuff. Like
That's
I,
bad because your body turns potato into sugar, and then it burns the sugar and stores the fat.
so how do you make a stew without potato?
You don't.
Just what, like put all the meat in the pot and no potato?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Nah. What about carrot?
Carrot?
Yeah.
No.
Carrots a no.
Yeah. Oh, it's a carnivore diet. You just eat meat.
Right.
Humans have been eating meat for 3 million years.
Yes.
Right? We didn't eat vegetables in any kind of amount until about 10,000 years ago or something.
When we started growing them.
Yeah. But up until that point, we only ate meat. We started off as scavengers, right? And just eating meat. And your brain's made of fat and it runs on cholesterol. Okay? Well, it's mostly made of fat and it runs on cholesterol. So they ate fat and cholesterol and their brains got bigger and they invented tools and weapons and went from being scavengers to being predators. That's how come that that's what grew humans' brains. And
Right.
the apes and the monkeys that don't eat meat, they stayed in the trees. For millions of years, our diet was meat. And only if we couldn't get meat did we revert to eating vegetables and berries and stuff like that.
Right. Aunt Sally's got a question. Can you ask him if it makes any difference what type of lard? I notice pork lard is a lot cheaper than beef lard, but I find pork lard inferior.
I use pork lard. It doesn't matter. The rules of Carnivore Club are you eat whatever comes from an animal. So
Right.
you can eat any kind of meat, any kind of fish. You cook it in butter or lard or beef dripping.
Eggs?
Eggs are fine. Cheese is fine. Full fat milk's fine.
I wouldn't have anything other than full fat milk about me.
Yeah. You don't eat any carbs, you don't eat any sugar. And then what happens is your body reverts to burning the fat. So you need to consume quite a bit of fat, which is awful because you have to eat fatty meat like bacon 3 or 4 times a week. Oh, it's terrible. You know what I mean? I have to eat. Remember when you was a kid, the best bit of the meat was the fatty bit, wasn't it?
Yep.
You
So
have to have more of that.
right. So you don't. So onions out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be ultra strict about it. I'm not ultra strict about it. There's people that just eat beef,
Right.
salt, and water, right? That's all they'll eat. There's other people that will only consume meat products. I do cheat. I drink beer. Beer is not made of meat.
Yep.
But, neither's gin. I have that as well. I drink coffee. But what you got to do is keep the carb level in your body so low that your body continues to use fat for fuel.
Right.
The reason people are getting fat is because their bodies use carbohydrates or sugar and turn the carbohydrates into sugar, and they burn that, and your body stores the fat because that's what it's designed to do. When you're eating vegetables and fruit, your body switches to doing that because times are hard. There's no meat about. That's what your body thinks. So we best save the fat because we're going to need it because times are hard.
Yeah.
But if you just eat meat, your body goes back to what it should do naturally, and it burns the fat. Yeah, Steve Craig just put he lost 2 stone in 5 weeks. I didn't weigh myself before I started because it isn't why I started doing it. I started doing it to feel better, and I feel 100 times better.
See, I'm about to embark on an effort to vastly reduce my bread intake.
Yep. See, I cut all that out. I've not had a slice of bread since last April. No bread, no potatoes, no rice, none of that. You don't miss it. I explain to people, if you go to a restaurant and you get a choice, you can have steak, however you want it cooked, or you can have potato. Which one are you going to pick? Because they're all, I miss my potato. Yeah, but you'd miss steak more, wouldn't you? You get used to it. It's lovely. It's a lovely diet. I'm never hungry because you can eat as much as you want. It's not about counting calories.
See, I've got a load of stuff in for making myself a nice slow cooked stew.
Uh-huh.
And now you've given me a thing about whether or not I put potatoes on it.
Just look into it. Just look into the carnivore diet. There's a bloke online called Dr. Ken Berry.
Yeah.
And there's a doctor called Dr. Chaffee, and it's Chaffee. They're both doctors, and this is what they're about, and they'll tell you anything you need to know. They do live streams every week. You can ask questions, but they've done tons and tons of videos on it.
I reckon if my stew is 7-to-1 meat in quantity, I think that would probably be sufficient.
You look into keto, because that's basically what this is. It gets your body into ketosis, which means you're burning fat. So you've got to ask about mushrooms. Yes, I have mushrooms occasionally. Mushrooms are fine. Most people do it for health reasons.
Right.
A lot of people do it for allergies. And when so Jordan Peterson's daughter, that's why she started it. That's how it got me into it, because she had arthritis before she was 20. She had joints replaced.
Here's the thing. I'd quite happily believe what you're telling me. And I will also believe that you heard something from Jordan Michaela Peterson, went further along and got good information. But that Michaela and, well, that Jordan Peterson is one disingenuous bastard.
Quite possibly, I don't know.
Oh, he is, but
unlikely every single word that comes out of their mouths is a lie.
Yeah, but broken clocks are right twice a day.
Yeah, with regards her medical conditions, I'm pretty sure that they're telling the truth, because they would have been called out on it by now otherwise, because
most of his medical conditions are made up too.
What, his addictions and whatnot?
No, they're he's been on psych meds from when he was like a very, very young. And his outburst and his crying. Here's what happens.
That is weird.
He says something, he loses a chunk of his audience, and then he has a teary outburst and says, I didn't really mean that, blah, blah, blah. And he tries to weasel his way fucking back out of it. And that I've seen that happen 8, 9, 10 times.
I don't watch him anymore as it happens. Personally, I've got nothing against the bloke, but I did get into it through her.
Yeah.
But I didn't get into it just solely on that. I did then look into it and found out there's loads of stuff out there about it. It's one of them conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah.
America is run by Big Pharma. It's basically America's now sponsored by Pfizer, more or less, isn't it?
Yes.
Big Pharma in America is big business. They don't want you well. They want you taking the pills. That's what they want. So when they're telling you, they tell diabetics, oh, no, carry on eating bread and sugar. What a fucking stupid thing to tell type 2 diabetics. No, it's fine. You can eat bread and sugar and potatoes. That's fine. Just take these pills. Just have this insulin.
Mate, whenever I got put on Prozac and diazepam for post-traumatic stress disorder, they had no plan for ever taking me off them.
Yeah.
Because I had said to them, right, what's the plan for getting me fixed and off these pills? And like, yeah, no, you're as fixed as you're ever going to be, and these tablets are your life forever.
Yeah, it's the same here. We don't pay full price for the tablets, but the fucking NHS do. We're paying for that.
Yep. It's an absolute joke. The whole medical industry, and it has been the trans thing that's put the feather on top of it for me, because the same person that's telling you how to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder or a broken leg is telling you that they can't figure out the difference between a man and a woman by a physical examination. You're thinking, well, are you a doctor? Because I'm pretty sure, and if you're willing to go with something that's absolutely definitely made up, but you want me to believe you about cholesterol?
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking. I can't. I think the whole the cholesterol thing was debunked as a scam, but they went so far down it that they can't really take it back.
Yeah, cholesterol's not bad for you unless you're eating loads of sugar and stuff and loads of carbs. Then cholesterol can become a problem. But if you're not doing that, it's fine. You need to eat 0 carbs and 0 sugar. Your body doesn't require them at all.
All right, Pal, what about you, chum?
All right, pal.
Hi, mate. Am I on? Yeah.
Yeah, you're on.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'll just come on. I'm not drunk tonight, so you know.
Nice one.
It's quite unusual, but you know, I'm skint. I don't know why I can't see the chat here.
Can you? Are you on a phone or a laptop?
Laptop, but normally when I come on streams and that, I can see the chat, you know, on the right hand side.
Yeah, right. See if you go to the past where you would normally see the chat. Can you see a thing that says comments, banners, ban, private chat?
No. Normally, okay, it says private chat. That's underlined, and it's got comments. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, click
comments.
comments.
Click on comments.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, laughing. Yeah, I'll
See,
just,
the last time you were on, you must have been looking at the private chat, and that's why it's just defaulted that.
Oh, I can't remember the last time I was on air. I swear to God. I mean, I've been drunk in the past. I've been drunker than I was then. Or even though I was quite drunk. But I've never really not been able to remember, you know, the next day. I've always been able to remember. But that, I just couldn't remember most of it. When I went and watched it back, I didn't realise we'd had a bit of a talk about politics in that first. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, it was mad.
I'm always embarrassing myself these days. I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry, you did it among friends, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So, you have any ideas about keto or this type of stuff?
Well, I wanted to just have a chat about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could do that. What Pac is doing. I mean, if he wants to do that, that's fine. But I think you need a balanced diet. I mean, I like veggies, I like meat, but you get things in veggies that you're just not going to get in meat, and supplements and that don't work.
No. You can get everything you need from meat. What's in vegetables that isn't in meat?
I've not got the literature in front of me, but I know you can't get everything you need from meat. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. I don't think you can. But I'm not going to state it because I'm not 100%.
Right. I'll tell you what I do know.
Yeah.
If the only meat you eat is rabbit, say you just eat if you only ever eat rabbit, eventually you die. Because, but
so why do you think that's a known fact then?
What?
Why do you think that is a known fact that if you only eat rabbit, it's bad for you? What does that tell you?
Everything in moderation.
What? Well, it says you can eat everything, all the other meats, you can eat them, and that isn't bad for you.
Yep.
Well, it's not bad for you. It's just you need a balanced diet. I mean, when I lost 3 stone in 3 months on the first lockdown. I just got clean about a year or so before, and I was like nearly 17 stone. I thought, fucking sack this. So I started exercising, and I was cooking my own fresh meals every day. 1 meal a day, the OMAD diet. I was walking to the shops every day, buying all fresh veg, and I had frozen chicken. And I was doing that every day. I mean, you might think it's a bit boring, but it wasn't exactly the same every day. I put different, spices and sauces in it and what have you. It was basically the same thing, just all sorts of different veggies, every veg you can think of. And I absolutely loved it, and I felt absolutely fantastic. It was the healthiest and happiest I'd felt for decades. Yeah, I don't know why I stopped in the end. But I need to start doing that again. It was really good.
Toffee, like you, I don't believe Stephen Fry either. There's a lot of things where he's straight into stuff that I do know about, and I've went, that's wrong, which put me off QI because I don't know about the stuff that I don't know about that they're saying, but the rabbit thing I've heard from many other sources. It's just there isn't enough in rabbit to sustain you. But if you have some rabbit, some cow, some pig, you're fine.
Yeah, they also recommend that you eat liver like once a month or something. They said, put it this way: once you've eaten a whole cow, eat a liver.
I know if you eat nothing but raw veg and fruit, you'll starve to death.
Yeah. Vegans need to take something because.
No, well, if you cooked, you can
just
eat
eat meat.
veg.
Anyway, we just eat meat, and all you ever need to do is put salt on it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anyway. You know.
No, it's fine. I don't.
No, I
tell
know
you
you're not pushing it. I know. Yeah, I'm happy for you, mate. If you feel good on it and all that, great stuff.
Go on, you got 2 others in here now. 40, so I'll bugger off.
Streaky Bacon, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, how are you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thanks very much for coming on, mate.
No problem. See you all later.
See you later.
Yeah, see you, Packer. Yeah, 42, you okay, mate?
All good, mate. How's yourself?
Yeah, I'm sound, Macker, yeah. Just just listening to what you were saying, you boys, but I ain't got no like special diet or nothing like that, and I'm just fucking normal, to be honest. I think, I don't know, I must be about 13 and a half stone something, 14 maybe, but yeah, and the thing is, I can't stop fucking pinching meat from the supermarket. I'm a bastard. Honestly. Right, today, I was in town, and I had to meet my mate, and I was stood outside Sainsbury's for 5 minutes, right? And I had no intentions of going in there, and I thought, oh, I forgot to get a bottle of squash. So I goes in, gets a bottle of squash, and I just couldn't resist, and I nicked some fucking minced beef, didn't I, in my pocket, like. And
you're a bad bastard.
It's just like a thrill. I don't do it because I have to do it. Like it's just gives me. I enjoy doing it, but the good thing is, I eat a lot of I buy a lot of veg and fruit and everything. So then, like, yeah, man, that's my little what do you call it, discount, innit? Get bits and pieces and that. And I nicked these February's air fresheners the other day, like fucking loads of them I had. I just couldn't resist it. And then I had to buy the unit to fix them, didn't I? Because it wouldn't fit in my pocket. But I got like the smelliest, gorgeous place now, you know. But I go through stages like this.
I robbed a tracky top from the charity shop. I mean, I know it's a charity shop, but you shouldn't be robbing from it. I didn't go in there attending to it, but I've spent so much money in there over the years. And they had this top, it was really nice. But they wanted 25 quid for it. It was really nice. So I tried it on. And there's a few people in the shop, and the woman walked and went into the back room. So I thought, fuck it. I just put my coat on and walked out. And my heart was pounding. That was absolutely pounding. I was like, oh, gangster. But, yeah.
It's only two supermarkets I do. And that's like Sainsbury's or Marks and Spencer's. And that's because I think I've said before, like when the COVID thing was on, Sainsbury's, they wanted to open up a queue. It was just after the BLM riots and that was going on, just so non-whites could get served before whites. And after that, I thought no chance. Like, so And
Right.
the other one I hit then is because Marks and Spencer's, because that's also run by certain people,
Yeah.
and it's quality food as well. So yeah,
Didn't
Wow.
Sainsbury's have sort of a segregated cafe area for the workers? You know, an area where only blacks were allowed to go.
I don't know
They did.
about.
That was in the news a few years ago.
Jeez,
Right.
I didn't know about that, mate.
Lofer Sheffield, what about you, chum?
Good evening. It's at long last that me and Streaky Bacon can actually engage in conversation because he is the
Yeah,
king of
Lofer.
comedy. Streaky, the king of comedy. Nice to speak to you at long last.
Hey, mate, yeah, it's good to see you, pal. I've seen you on the boards for like years and years on the live chat and stuff, innit?
Aye.
I like
What's
that
the-
flag.
What's that
Lofer.
flag, mate?
I like that
That's a
Czech flag.
that's a Pakistan flag.
It's so 7 or 8 years ago, but the thing is,
It's good though.
I've got fridge magnets behind you and there's stuff written on it, and you never know. It might be like, sort of thing that I don't want people to see.
Yeah, fair enough.
Here, Lofer, how did you find your way here? If it's not a cheeky question, did you come with the Raves mob?
I came over. I think I'm subscribed to you. I didn't get the notification because I was on Rev's stream earlier. So, but I've been subscribed for about 3 weeks now.
All right. So I was just wondering how you ended up here because it's always good to know that.
It's a highly convoluted route that I've ended up on various streams and commenting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a bit more concerned. It might be a bit of an echo chamber. I'm a bit of a skeptic and open-minded, but the older you get, the longer you live, you realise something is seriously fucked up. So at the end of the day, you've got to go with the people that you trust that, speak to your personal lived experience.
Well, it's always nice to have somebody new on to have a chat with, because it's almost you get a slightly different you get slightly different opinions.
Yeah.
The likes of Streaky Bacon and RPA that I've spoken to many times, I know their views on most things because, well, we've spoken before, so it's good to have somebody new on.
I'm just pouring another pint. I've got to be up at 7. I've got to go and pretend to work, and me part-time employers have got to pretend to pay me. Yeah, does that sound familiar? I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, the online training that I've got to do, I'm the basic guy that does the basic plumbing and electrical maintenance for an entertainment company. But they had me doing all these other things that, box ticking exercises. Apparently, there's a diversity, inclusion, and equity questionnaire coming up, and I can't fucking wait.
I'm going to be controversial.
Oh, yeah. I'm jealous about that, mate. Oh, God. Don't get in trouble, though, fella. You got to watch what you're saying.
I'm going to be controversial and say, believe what you actually believe, but tick the boxes that mean that you still have a job.
Exactly that. I mean, it's difficult, though, isn't it? I think Lofer's a bit like me. I don't think he'll be able to keep his mouth shut. I'll be back in a minute. I'm not going off. I'm just back in a minute. I need to
no worries. We had my partner, Emma G. She's doing she's a care worker and she's doing a course to become a nurse. And a lot of her essays and stuff, they were looking for quite woke stuff. And how she got around that was, she said, people will argue that, blah, blah, blah. So she's give them the answer that they wanted, but she hasn't said it's her opinion.
Yeah. Basically, a lot of people are saying that. I mean, the way that the institutions have been infected by this political correctness, a lot of people saying that. Keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, get your qualifications, and then get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's even where I work, it's starting to get quite woke, and it's a factory I work in, and none of the shop floor are woke, none, like zero, but the training literature we're getting asked to read and stuff is, it's absolutely mad.
Well, the thing is, in this day and age, you've got to have 2 jobs, which I've got. So I've got that 12 hours a week part-time job, and I'm also self-employed plumber and tiler and all. So The problem is at this day and age, when it comes to things like bathroom refits, people can't afford them. The phone isn't ringing anywhere near as much as it has done over the last, certainly over the last year. But I'm getting to that age now where I really should be slowing down. I mean, no outstanding debts or anything like that, but the work is not coming in. The wife works for the state. Okay, so everybody that pays taxes, pays my wife's job. It's reasonably secure. She could earn a lot more money if she worked in the private field in her particular job, but she decided that because she's got the flexibility of working for the state, it was only when she actually downgraded from a private part of the economy to the state. She took a big wage cut, but it was the only time that she could actually get some degree of flexibility so we could start a family. So basically, she works 5 days a week. She passes the kid off to me. I pass the kid off to her. I go out to work. And I've got like 2 jobs. And this is the only way that we can actually keep a reasonable, lifestyle with a roof over her head in this day and age. Because I don't know how other folk, other working class or low middle class folk are coping. Because inflation is fucking extortionate.
The one thing I will say is, see everybody that is now struggling that 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, were doing okay and could put a couple of pounds aside. See if you're in that situation and you are on benefits, go Monday morning, phone your local Citizens Advice Bureau, tell them to get you a emergency food package from your local food bank. Turn up and get that, and do that once a month, once every other month, and get those dried foods, canned foods into your cupboard, and do that before you get to the point where you really, really need it, because the government has fucked up inflation. I live in Mayo, and I always used to joke with the boys in work because I can get on out of Tesco's for like a tenner, on a Saturday, getting like bread, ham, bits for packed lunches and stuff and whatnot. It's now 20 quid, and then I buy my meat from a local butcher because I don't like Tesco's meat, and I've like 20 quid on. I'm spending 40 quid a week on food now, where it used to be 20. And how that ramps up for people that have got kids, I don't know how they're coping. So my best advice is, if you're on any form of benefit, get yourself on the phone, Citizen Advice Bureau. They'll give you a referral to the local food bank. Comes in your phone, you rock up at the food bank. They give you quite a good supply of dried food, canned foods, and depending on the food bank, you may also get some like hygiene products, shampoos and stuff and whatnot. But that is the only thing that the government has put in place to deal with the inflation thing. So do that, please.
I couldn't do that though, Packer. I mean, I'm on benefits. I do a bit of cash in hand work. I'm on benefits, but I couldn't do that.
Why?
I don't know. I should, because I'm sure the P's and that, and the P's and the N's, I'm sure they're doing it.
Right. Okay. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
the reason
they are. I know they are.
Yeah.
The reason why you can't do that is because you feel shame. However,
no doubt. Yeah.
Right, but the shame for that rightfully belongs on the government that's squeezed the shit out of everybody.
You're absolutely right. Of course you are, but still.
Well, you see, I'm a plumber, so I routinely use brass and copper in my work. My mother passed away 3 years ago, and she's a lot. Well, there's only one grandparent left, and that's my father-in-law, and he's going through chemo at the moment, 86-year-old. But my mother passed away about 3.5 years ago, so me and my brother inherited the council house that they bought in 1984. And when I got all this money through, I thought, well, what the hell am I going to do with it? Because I knew we were going to have inflation. You can't print money out of thin air and give it to people that aren't productive, which is what they were doing. They did that to the banks in 2008. They called it quantitative easing. They created money out of thin air and gave it to the bankers that had made the crisis in the first place.
That's right.
And when the coof came along, they were giving people money for sitting on their asses doing fuck all. So it was round about the same time. I couldn't go to. I was going over every weekend to visit my mother, but she insisted on dying at home. She got diagnosed with cancer, stage 4. They didn't even know where it had started. It was that bad. She said, "I'm not dying alone in hospital." So they took her home. So, like, you know, I'm from Lancashire originally, but I live in Yorkshire now. So I went over every Friday night to Sunday night, spend time with my ma and my brother and neighbours, because they come from a traditional working class community, and it's still got pretty tight, loyal bonds there. All the neighbours would be coming in every half an hour. One at neighbours from the street would be popping in to say hello, see how she was going on and everything. But she got taken into hospital because of her blood pressure. They had to put her on a drip. And she went in and tested negative. And when they released her, she tested positive for the you-know-what. So my brother phoned me up and said, "You can't come over this weekend because I've tested positive. Mum's tested positive." I said, "Fucking hell. She's got cancer. She's got like a couple of weeks at the best to live." And he said, "Well, it's rules are rules." Now, my mother died that Sunday morning. My brother went round and found her dead in the downstairs bed that the NHS eventually got around to giving her one of these special beds because she got bed sores and everything.
Right.
So when I came into all this money, I thought, well, I've no outstanding debts, mortgages paid off, we're all right. And yeah, plumbers are never out of work. And I have 2 jobs now, join the dots. Somebody just mentioned in the chat, plumbers, decent plumbers are never out of work. But I thought, well, so we're going to have a rampant runaway inflation. It's an inevitability. So I thought, what shall I do with all this money? Because if I just stick it in the fucking bank, it's going to lose value because of inflation. It's going to eat away at it. Now, I don't know if Streaky's back, but Streaky's a regular guest on a Tuesday night live stream. There might be some other people in the chat know I'm talking about, but the regular course of this live stream actually let something drop once, and it fucking stuck with me. He said that if the government ever come for my precious things, I'll tell them that I've lost them all in a tragic boating accident.
Yep.
If Streaker's listening, it was John D. It was John D that said that. Mr. D.
On Academic Agents channel, isn't it?
Yeah. So I just put a fucking silly email to my brother. I said, "How are you going on, this, that, and the other? How's my nephew, Thomas, going on?" Because he's 28-year-old. Yeah, I know you're coughing, but it's a common enough name. I'm not going to dox him. How's Thomas going on? He's 28-year-old. He's got a master's degree in biochemistry because he's functionally autistic. And even though he's got a master's degree in biochemistry, he had to do his A-levels, 2 years out of the job market, 3-year bachelor of science degree, and another year or 2 getting his master's. So when he entered the job market at 26-year-old, he got a decent job. And now this is a bit of a fucking truth bomb, whether you think I'm full of shit or not. I'm going to say it anyway. I'll say it in the next sentence. He's graduated. He's got loads and loads of student debt. He has to pay off that student debt because he's got a decent job, right? He worked for AstraZeneca as a junior research person. They treated him like shit. Now he's got a new job in a separate, smaller, independent research lab. But he's 28-year-old with a master's degree in biochemistry, and he can't afford his own house.
Fucking hell. That's shocking, isn't it?
He's not profligate with his money. He's not into drugs or beer. Yeah. He doesn't smoke cigarettes like I do. Yeah. You know, he just sits at home, reads a book, gets up to nonsense on the internet, and he's saving furiously. And he's got to wait for my brother and my sister-in-law to fucking cark it before he inherits half of the house with my niece. So what you call the system like that is broken. Fundamentally, your bestest and brightest are disadvantaged straight away.
They are paying. The pay's not spread out enough. I mean, I'm not a commie out like that, but my cousin works for AstraZeneca. He's one of the top people. That is on like £1 million a month. He's got a triple-fronted mansion. I'm not joking. Him and his wife, by some of the top scientists there, their income is between them is about £1 million a month. So you know what I mean? They're not spreading it out, are they? The money enough.
Well, not only that, the way the price of housing has gone, like it just took a phenomenal leap. And now instead of needing $2,000 for a deposit, you need like 50 grand.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing is, you go to a mortgage company, and they're like, prove to us that you can pay back this £400 a month mortgage. Well, I'm already paying £600 a month in rent. Yeah, but you still need to prove to us that you can pay back 400. It's absolute fucking madness. The whole system is just catastrophic.
Yeah, it's fucked, isn't it?
One of my regular customers, the landlord, I've only ever met him once, he lives in London. His dad came over as a genuine refugee in 1974. His dad came from northern part of Cyprus. Turks invaded and kicked all Greeks out. You see, if you look at a map of Cyprus now, it's divided in half, Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what his dad did for a living, but he did all right. Now, this bloke, I've only ever met him once. He's got 6 houses in Sheffield. 3 of them are houses in multiple occupation and 3 separate independent dwelling spaces for families, even though he fudges it a little bit because one of his houses has got 3 students in. But anyway, and he rang me up. He said, I'm going to have to put my rents up and my tenants because in HMOs, you know, these houses in multiple occupation, he says, my mortgage rates have gone up. I said, well, I don't know. It's none of my business how many houses you own outright or you've got mortgages on. But if your mortgage rates go up, then you've got to charge your tenants more. And he said, well, it's not only that. Can you go around and check the gas and the electric? I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, my gas and electric bills have gone up. I said, well, inflation's gone up. They're charging more per kilowatt hour and per cubic meter of gas. He says, no, the consumption's gone up. I thought, oh, right, okay. So I said, tell him, put it on a WhatsApp chat. I'll be coming round Sunday. I'll do a creep test on the meter and I'll have a look at what could be possibly going on with your gas consumption on your central heating. And I figured it out. First door I knocked on just to tell the first person in this HMO, I think there were 6 in this particular property. I knocked on his door just to remind him that if he was working from home or if he was downloading or working on any documents, that he'd have to shut his computer down because I was turning the electric off to do a creep test on his lecky meter. And guess what I saw? He bought a plug-in electric fucking electric radiator. So that's why the landlord's electric bills are going up. Now, his gas consumption was slightly different because a couple of months before that, I installed these Hive thermostats. You know, these things that you can set your central heating by on your mobile phone. You download the app, you bang it on your mobile. Yeah. So if you're like working late one day, you think, oh, fuck this, tap it in and get your central heating to fire up, you know, a couple of hours later so you're not heating your house unnecessarily. Yeah. He put them in, and that's why this lad went out and bought an electric radiator, plug-in electric radiator. So basically, the landlord had control of his gas consumption, but at least 2 or 3 of his tenants in one of his properties have bought in fucking electric plug-in heaters because the landlord was turning the heating down, and the timing parameters and the target temperatures were all right. Well, I was thinking, well, if you're a young millennial working from home because all your office spaces have downsized and you only go in 1 or 2 days a week, you share your desk with somebody else, and now your company have told you you have to work from home because they're downsizing their office space, then you're going to run up your landlord's bills. And I said to him, I said, look, there's one way you can get around this. I said, you can foreclose on all your tenants, kick them out, and you can get Serco to fucking provide your tenants for you. And he said, look, Loafer, he says, my dad came over to this country in 1974 as a legitimate refugee, and the last thing I will do is fucking sign into a Faustian pact with them fucking evil bastards at Serco so I can have a load of fucking other migrants. I nearly, sorry, we're on YouTube, I had to bite my tongue. You know what I'm talking about. So this guy's played the game. He's not invested in anything because the stock market, he's not dressed up on it. He thought property market. We've had low interest rates. People have bought second and third houses, rented them out, and even they now are fucking struggling. So it's now coming to hit the middle class.
I got a question. Why can he not put in like card meters so that the person that's using the electricity pays for the electricity?
Well, his second HMO, it's got 8 flats
Yep.
in there. They actually have that. They have to pay for their own electricity. The landlord only pays the gas central heating and the electrical in the common areas. So that's the laundry and the passageways. And even the tenants have even got small electric hobs and electric ovens. So they have to pay for their own electrical consumption. So the onus of responsibility is on them to actually not be profligate and run up the landlord's bills, because they can't. They can't do it. But his other 2 HMOs, they're just taking the piss. I've been round it middle of fucking winter and they've got the windows open and they're wandering around in their fucking shorts and t-shirts. And I'm thinking,
Okay, no.
this ain't right. You're taking the fucking piss.
Yeah.
Mm.
But eating the street up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happens whenever your heating's free.
Yeah.
Because it's not unusual for me to be waltzing about my flat with a hot water bottle strapped to me. Because I've got a choice of, I live here on my own, so I've got a choice of heating the whole flat at whatever that costs, or boiling the kettle once and heating the 42 for a couple of hours. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll take that option.
There's nothing wrong with just having a quilt around you, is there?
Yeah.
You know, just keeping a quilt around you. I don't mind a cold room, and underneath a quilt, the room's a bit chilly. It's quite nice.
Oh, I got my dad heated electric rug for Christmas, and he absolutely loves it.
Yeah, my dad got one off my mum.
It's when you wear a quilt around a town centre, that's when you're in fucking trouble.
Can I ask Streaky, what's the accent you got there, mate?
First 20 years I was born, it was the Valleys, South Wales.
Wales.
I've been mainly about 30 years in Southeast mainly.
Right, because it's a bit strange.
All over the place in the fucking Southeast, mate. I've moved around building sites with work and stuff, and
yeah, it is a bit of an odd of an accent, isn't it? But I can hear that well.
Yeah.
Why don't you say it? I
mate.
can hear it. Yeah. Yeah, cool. And what about you, Lothar? If you don't want to say, what's your accent?
Well, I'm from Lancashire originally, but the missus is from Rotherham. So we moved. We moved over to Sheffield. We live in Sheffield now.
All right.
But
I'm Lancashire.
I'm from Lancashire originally.
Yeah, right. Whereabouts in Lancashire?
I'd rather not say.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, don't be getting too close to your address.
I'm in Manchester. I'm in Oldham. I'm in Chadderton. I'm on Cathedral Road. So there you go.
Hold on, is Oldham part of Manchester?
Yeah, Greater Manchester.
Right.
Well, yeah, our little. Well, I'm from Greater Manchester. I was born in Lancashire before they brought in the metropolitan boroughs. So
I can drive to the dead centre of Manchester, like Deansgate. I can drive from here to Deansgate in less than 10 minutes. So
I've been outside the studio of Radio Lancashire. It's in Blackburn, isn't it? Because a couple of years ago, we had the PA conference, and a few of us stayed in Blackburn. And what a fucking dump of a place that is. Yeah, it's grim up north, isn't it?
Yeah, it's grim. Yeah, grim up north.
Oldham's grim. Oldham's always been grim with the P's. But these days, the ends, shit, man. In the past 5 years, the ends are just, you can't turn around without bumping into one. Really bad.
Yeah, it's multiculti hell where I am, But when I was in the weekend up in Blackburn, it was just an air over the town of solemnness. It was fucking horrible. It was like a gloom over the town. And you didn't see gangs laughing or nothing, It was, and you couldn't get a drink after 8 o'clock from all the Kawasaki's, or all the shops were shut at 8 o'clock, so you couldn't get a drink. And it was horrible. And the high street it was just fucking stinking of kebabs and pizzas, and there was all these Asians in cars and pulling up, and I just thought, there's no fucking way would I want to live in Blackburn. It's the shittest place I've ever been in. I've been a lot of places in Britain, but yeah, to be living in a tower block in Blackburn would be the end of my fucking life. Like,
But all these places like Blackburn, Oldham, and I guess right up and down the country, these chicken shops and kebab shops, there's just like miles of them, just chicken shop after chicken shop after chicken shop. Where did they get all the customers from? It's just something not right. I mean, I think it's
what about
Turkish?
what about Turkish barbers?
Exactly.
You'd see an Audi or a Mercedes parked out back, and you'd see a bloke there picking his nose. No fucking customers.
That as well, yeah.
What about all these exotic sweet shops that are selling candies and confectionery that you've never bloody heard of, and they've never got any customers? What about in the 1980s? Going back to the 1980s, I used to work just part time, and I used to go to tanning salon. I used to be a bingo caller in one of the last small independent bingo halls in Lancashire, right?
Okay.
Before they all got taken over by Gala and Mecca, right? There's no small independent bingo halls. There's no working men clubs left or anything like that. But I used to be a vain bastard, you know what I mean? We used to go to tanning salons.
I am now.
And my next door neighbour to my ma and pa's house, she used to man the tanning salons. You'd take your money off you and like program your 15 minutes in or what have you. And I'd see her wandering up and down underneath between the cubicles, turning the fucking beds on in the cubicles. There was nobody in them. And I said to her, why do you have to turn the beds on? Why are you wasting electricity on these tanning beds when you've not got customers underneath? She said, oh, boss says I've got to do that. And I thought, I wonder why. It's all too obvious now, because if their electrical consumption doesn't match or tally with the declared income from customers, they can't launder the money that easily, can they?
Yeah,
that was the 1980s, and now what have we got? Turkish barbers, hand car washes, the fucking lot. You tell me that all these people are legit?
Yeah,
get wrecked.
Well, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, you can't even pay with card. You've got to pay cash.
Yeah.
So it's money laundering. It absolutely is. But I mean, how much money are they laundering? Because there's just thousands of chicken shops and barbers, like you say, and exotic sweet shops and stuff.
We don't really have that over here. We do have. We do have some Turkish barbers, but whenever you go past them, there's people in there getting a haircut. There's been a bit of an addition of a couple of chicken shops that have arrived in our local area, but they do seem to be being used by the local population. What you're describing of all these businesses really not doing any business, we haven't really seen that, or if we do have it, it hasn't really changed from the 70s. And we do still have our working men's clubs and stuff. They're still intact.
Yeah, there's one that I go to that's quite good, quite traditional, and quite racist. So, yeah, but they are dying out.
The one thing that has really changed in my area is the British Legion. The British Legion Hall, local to where I live. Whenever I was a kid, it was a wooden hut, and people obviously went down and whatnot. But now it's a very large brick building. It's got keep fit classes going on in there. There's also they're doing all sorts of stuff with the local community in it. I went past it one night at like 10:30, 11, and there was a bundle of people coming out after having played some form of tennis or squash or something. But which is quite different from what you are experiencing over in England.
Well, I hope it stays that way,
Yeah.
Because it seems to be accelerating over here. It's accelerating.
Yeah, the last few years it's accelerated fucking crazy in the southeast. It really has. And it's good. Yeah, what Woodland is doing as well. You know, 42. He's got his bit of land as well in Wales. There's a couple of plots. Trying to get off grid and stuff, and he's looking to buy another plot. So hopefully that's going to be more successful. But
that is cool, but it's a bit of a dream, isn't it? I mean, most of us couldn't do that. It'd be nice to do it. It's a bit of a fantasy, isn't it? Though? What do you think?
Well, even for if you can spend a few months there camping, like I mean, like I work probably about 9 months of the year. I like to take off like November, December, January at that time. But then if I want to take a couple of months off in the summer, it'd be nice to get. And it's a place where it's like-minded people. I think you know what I'm saying. It wouldn't be any immigrants kind of thing, you know. So that's gonna be good. And he's put a lot of work in, and it's all coming together. So looking forward to that. All meeting up in the springtime.
The Woodlander has gathered up a whole lot of people that have joined the initiative.
Yeah,
they're all putting in money, and they're now using that money to buy land, and the land will be for the use of the members for doing all sorts of stuff. Now,
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that starting. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like it's not going to get. I don't think it's going to get to the point where it can house a large number of people anytime soon. But it is going to be somewhere that they could go if they're local to have an allotment or do some camping or, just have a permanent meeting place, put up a clubhouse. It is to get to where he is from where he was whenever he started is a phenomenal job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's about 108 grand, I think, now is raised.
That's
the couple of fields in Wales they bought is two plots, one woodland, and one is like for camping, a field. So yeah, and he's going to be looking at other things. So it's all coming together. I think once we get that first plot and it's all signed by the solicitors, then I'll encourage more people to contribute and join in, because when he announced it last June, I took a month or 2 months off the piss. I said whatever I save, like I'll put in towards it. So so that's a good thing to look forward to for this year. But yeah, I can get you down where I am. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a multi-culti nightmare. And I don't want to dox myself, but I've noticed where I am has come up in the chat a few times and stuff where I'm living, and it's a fucking shithole. But it's just really good for me because it's close to work and stuff. When I go back to work in a couple of weeks' time, I'll get my lazy ass back to work, and the weather will break a bit. And but yeah, it's fucking heartbreaking. A bus went past me the other day with an advert for the university, and on the university it was 4 people, and there was one white person, and it was a really old white person, lady, and then there was like a young black guy, a Chinese woman, and a fucking Asian guy, and that was like advertising for the university, and you get it from morning to night.
Let me get this right. You saw an advert on a bus and it had a Chinese and a black or a brown person on, and it was an advertisement for university. The Chinese,
university,
the Chinese can't be bothered building their own universities. They send all their bright sparks over here to study, and they pay an awful lot of money. The Chinese Communist Party will send their best and brightest over to the United Kingdom to learn, so that they're jacking up the prices of foreign students to come study over here. It's a bit basically at the end of the day, you've got a university, chancellor, the head of the university is on more money, or 3 times more money than Rishi Sunak. And basically, it's just it's one of the few things that we've got left to sell is our intellectual integrity, because we still have reasonably decent universities. When it comes to the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and medicine, I can't see the Chinese Communist Party sending their children, their best and brightest over here to study gender studies or all that sort of bullshit.
Not at all. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go. Okay.
Okay,
Thanks
okay.
for having me on 42.
Thanks for coming on, RPA.
Yeah, Loafer, nice to meet you, mate. I've seen you for a few years. Take
You
care,
guys.
pal.
And I've been knocking around.
I'm gonna knock this off in about 15 minutes anyway, because we're now that'll be 2.5 hours at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's sort of where we're going to go to. What I will say about universities, the fees that university can charge a British person are set and they're capped, but that's not the case with their foreign intake. So they can make a shitload of money off bringing in foreigners, and they're bringing in far too many.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, listen, sorry, that mate. Is our powered left, innit?
Yeah.
I thought there was Loafer because they sound the same. But yeah.
I've just
yeah.
poured another pint, so I'll be here for another half hour. I've just poured another pint of homebrew.
Hey, it's funny, Arpo. He's a bit more toned than what he was like a couple of weeks ago. He was funny as fuck, man. I was a good streamer. I was with the Flat Earth and the Mud Floods.
That the Flat Earth stream was funny as fuck. But I tell you what, I do not want the repeat performance. It was that stream's now only available on Bitchute.
Yeah, that was best, mate. I got a bit spicy, didn't it? Hey,
It
listen,
did
anyway,
indeed.
I'm gonna chip off as well. 42, nice one for that, mate. And Loafer, yeah, good to catch up with you last. I'll catch you later, boys. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, good night.
Right, Streaky, thanks for coming on.
Cheers, Macca.
Yeah, the whole way that the universities have gone is they're bringing in lots more foreign students because they can charge them whatever the fuck they want. It seems that the people that are, it obviously shows you that the people that are coming from foreign places to our universities are moneyed individuals because they can pay it. Yet a lot of the countries they're coming from, we give fucking foreign aid to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know, it's what's went on with the run of this country. Like, people actually need prison.
I don't know if you go back in a long historical timeline. If you go back, I think we got fucked in 1914. I mean, I do like my books. Bitter Streak is just bailed out because I've got Prophets of Doom by Nima Parvini. I've still not opened it yet. It's too fucking grim. But Peter Hitchens reckons that we should never have entered into the First World War. It was a war, European war, and Britain should never have been involved. And the best and brightest of the population, all the hard workers from every class, were fucking mown down in a hail of gunfire. And of course, that led to turmoil with reparations for Germany. That led to the rise of Mustache Man. Nearly said his name. Then we're actually on YouTube. Mustache Man. And then it even turned to more shit. An academic agent did a stream the other night, was saying that basically we sold out to the Americans. Did you know that the war debt we had to pay off was the United Kingdom was around about 2% more than all of the other countries, including those countries that we were actually at war with. So the debt that we entered into with the America, we were paying at a higher rate, paying off our debts to our supposed allies than the people we were actually fighting.
Right. Okay. I take all those points, but I want to add something into the mix. Had we not went into World War I, you and I would not be allowed to vote.
That's a good point, yeah.
What happened was we had World War I, the biggest, most industrial war of all time. A decision was taken that if the government were allowed to conscript the populace and send them to die or come back missing part of their body or part of their mind, that populace must have a say in how the country's run.
Yeah, but not only votes, but also they promised homes fit for heroes.
Well,
after World War One, and my dad didn't see electric. My dad, I don't know, he'd be in his 90s now, if he was late 90s, if he was still alive. My dad didn't even actually see electrical light. He had gas light in his house.
Are there?
And the first, my granddad will actually survive the First World War, and I wouldn't be talking to you now if he wasn't fortunate enough to fucking survive it.
Yeah. Well, my granddad was brought back to the lines on the 1st of July on a dead stretcher. They thought he was dead. By some miracle, a medic thought that realized that he was alive, and they treated him and got him patched up. Never the same again, but he did make it back. But do you not have ex-servicemen's houses in your towns and villages?
Not that I'm aware of. Certainly the places I've lived in Lancashire, and then I lived in Stockport for a couple of years. That's where I met my missus. No, obviously live in Sheffield. I'm not aware of any, things like that.
There's a housing development close to where I live, Somme Drive, FIFO Avenue, Picardy Avenue, that are all names of the from the battles that the Ulstermen fought in the First World War. They were built for servicemen whenever they came back. There's another one, a smaller development, Earl Haig, which is was for servicemen coming back. My great uncle lived in one of those. So it seems to be hit and miss whether or not you actually got houses.
Yeah, well, my granddad, I think my granddad was late pumping out a unit with my dad. And my dad was certainly a lot older. I think my dad was 28, and most people married earlier than that. My dad was 28 when he married, and my brother came along. I mean, I'm 57, my brother's 67, so do the maths. But my granddad didn't get a home fit for a hero till 1936, and it were a council house that my mother and father eventually bought when Thatcher gave the right to buy out in 1983, 1984. So we're basically talking about housing stock. It's not actually productive. It's just an asset that accumulates wealth on account of its rarity. Anything which is rare accumulates wealth. If people need it in particularly, and everybody needs a roof over their head, if the housing is rare, then it appreciates in price, but it's not actually producing anything. It's not pumping anything into the economy. It's just something which is accumulating value on account of the fact that everybody needs a fucking house and we're not building enough.
Yeah, but our housing needs should be on the decline. See, right, you and I are about the same age. See, whenever we were kids, you remember all the families had 2 or 3 kids, sometimes 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Right, okay. We now have children with 2 parents and 4 grandparents. And those 4 grandparents have got 1 grandchild. Our triangle is upside down, and our numbers are declining. So why do we need more houses?
I don't know. Well, we do know it's because of immigration.
It's immigration.
It's immigration.
And it's not just immigration. It is the amount of children that the people that we bring in here from the third world have.
Yeah. Well, here's another fucking truth bomb. I mentioned it earlier. Nobody picked up on it in the chat, and if they did, sorry, because I'm not paying attention because I'm on my 5th pint of homebrew. I mentioned Rotherham. That's where the wife's from. I'd say that about 20% of my established customers that I've built up over the 20 years that I've been over since Mrs. met and moved over to Sheffield, I'd say 20% of my customers in my job book are of a particular ethnographic group. And there's 3 of them that have all done time for doing nasty things. There's a 4th one that didn't do time for doing nasty things because the person was scared off and basically revoked her testimony to the police. And I was recently approached by somebody else who actually gave me his real email address with his real name on. And just a quick Google search, I figured it out. I clocked him, clocked his face. I'm not really good with faces. I'm shit at remembering faces, but I've registered this guy's face. I took a long, good, hard look at him. I got back here in my lockup. I typed his name into Google. He'd only been fucking out released from prison for 3 months. Rotherham.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20% of my customers are peas. And to be quite honest, they're not all bad. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I don't want to work for them. Now, when you get in a financial crisis, you know, when you're self-employed and the phone isn't ringing as much, well, if these buggers ring up, and I don't delete the numbers from my phone now, I actually keep them as recognised numbers. And I put a little fucking icon next to them, a black dot or 2 black dots. And I just ring up, some of them ring up, and they say, you know, can you come and do a job for us? And I say, no, I'm too busy. Most of the time, that is true. But sometimes if I'm actually, you know, sat on my bum, phone out wrong, and it's the building industry is never good in January. But if somebody rang me up the other day, want a radiator put in a loft conversion. So I went round to their house, calculated for heat loss, took the notes, figured out what they wanted doing, and they said, can you do it tomorrow? I said, there's no way I can do it tomorrow. Absolutely no way. And I thought, I know what these fuckers have been doing. They've got the general builders in to do the job. The general builders have probably got their plumber around to quote for this radiator. They don't like the price, so they've rung me up and they expect me to do it yesterday, and they expect me to pay them for the privilege of doing the work. So I just played the game with them over a couple of days. I said, I can't possibly do it. I'm too busy. This is the price. This is the heat loss calculations. This is the side of the radiator that you need. I said, I won't be at all offended if you need to get another plumber in, but just beware. If you can get a plumber in at short notice to do this work, they might not do the job properly. They might cock it up, and you might be ringing me back to reattend to sort out to the fucking leaks and everything. Thank you very much for ringing me, but unfortunately, I can't do the job. Now, you want to see the house that these people have got. They've actually got a wet room, and I think the wet room was actually funded by the council on account of the fact that one of their children has got very, very serious physical disabilities.
Yep.
Quite possibly on account of the fact that the mum and dad are very closely related.
Right.
So you're talking about consanguineous genes, bloodlines being very closely related. You normally get birth defects and you get psychological defects as well. So yeah, I said, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for considering me. This is your heat loss calculations. This is where your radiator needs to go on the wall. This is the size of the wall area available. This is the radiator. You know, they got me on Screwfix. In fact, actually, Rotherham branch on the industrial estate, they've got 6 of these radiators in. Go and buy the radiator, but unfortunately, I'm not available to do the job. I didn't want to do the job. Like I said, 3 of my former customers have done time for the grooming gang scandal. One of them got fucking let off because the person, the young woman or girl, might have been a young woman, girl, whatever, said, I've pulled my prosecution. I've heard it said that she was scared off, and another person has recently come to me and he'd all been released from prison for 3 months after doing 2.5 years for good behaviour for you. Well, we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, they class those girls as women once they pass puberty.
Yeah. Pisses me off.
Yeah, that's where the problem is. In their culture and tradition, once a girl has passed puberty, she's a woman.
Yeah. And
that is obviously not how our society works. And that's where the clash comes.
Well, I was sat having a cig and a brew on Warwick Street in Rotherham with somebody else that owes me 235 quid. I don't think I'll ever get it out of him because he's struggling at the moment and he's a P. But he's one of these P's which is like, you know, a little bit more sort of liberalised, shall we say. You know, he didn't marry his first cousin in an arranged marriage. He knocked up his girlfriend when they were both 17, and they're both P's. Now, his girlfriend and their family don't wear any head coverings apart from when they go to where on a Friday. And in fact, I don't think my mate even actually goes to where on a Friday. And he even hides a bottle of whiskey on top of his fucking boiler. I did a boiler service for him. I said, fuck's this doing here? Oh, don't show it to my wife. Oh, your wife knows you fucking drink outside. I was sat on Warwick Street having a fag and a brew, and there was a great big fucking bunch of blokes coming down Godstone Road in Rotherham. Yeah, have a look. Sheffield's have a Sheffield Crown Court, Rotherham 6, Godstone Road. 2 of the original people in the most notorious grooming gang scandal case lived on Godstone Road. Anyway, so these blokes came down, and they're all got beards, small hats, wearing pajamas, all ages. One of them was waving a walking stick, and they started twatting the fuck out of another group of people that were wearing pajamas and small hats at the bottom of Godstone Road, junction with Warwick Street. And I said to my mate, I said, "What's all that about?" He said, "Well, we don't have much to do with them." I said, "What do you mean? They're peas, just like you." "Yeah, but you don't understand. They come from like the northwest frontier of P with Afghanistan. And we don't have much to do with them because they're right backward." So, but what confuses me and what concerns me is that nominally well-behaved people that contribute to society from this group don't want, if they're not willing to actually dox members of their own group for the most egregious and fucking disgusting fucking crime that you can possibly think of. Now, that is what concerns me.
Right.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're not willing to fucking come meet us halfway and sort out this shit that you know has been going on for well over 30 years, then I don't want to have anything to do with you either.
Okay. Here's one thing I want to pick up on. That they're not all bad, right? Now, I've heard this all my life. I grew up in East Belfast, in a unionist area. And all my life, I've heard not all the Irish are bad. Not all the Irish support the IRA. Not all the Irish want anything to do with the terrorists. Your ordinary, hard-working, honest to God, Catholic Irish person does not support any of this. But it turns out they all vote for Sinn Féin because Sinn Féin is the largest nationalist party. And whether anybody likes it or not, Sinn Féin and the IRA are linked at the hip. Always have been, always will be. Current members of Sinn Féin are still on the Army Council for the Irish Republican Army. So to relate that to what you're saying is, if they get a political party run by the people that they say they don't want anything to do with, watch them all fucking vote for them. Because if they had wanted those people out of their society, they would have got them out.
Yeah.
And if their imams tell them to vote for a certain political party, which will be coming down the pipe, they will all vote for them. So how much do they actually dislike the people that are doing the child grooming gangs? I really think they don't give a fuck about it.
No, it doesn't affect them personally, does it?
No, because it's not their kids.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be here having this conversation if it weren't for, like, you know, a few years ago, this Brexit debate. What's all that about? And I've always been like, you know, sort of traditional working class, conservative culturally, but liberal economically. Because I can remember a time when the Labour movement at one point actually used to look out for the interests of the working class. Now, they've not done that for fucking best part of 30 years, possibly longer. Now,
Since
the
Labour strike.
Yeah, and the Labour movement was actually infected with some real fucking nasty, hard left communist types. Traditional working class people don't want no truck with them sort of fucking people. You know what I mean?
Right. Whenever the miners' strike happened, Labour were looking for the working class white people to rise up and overthrow the Conservative government. That's what they wanted. They wanted to turn it into something like the workers' strike we had in 1873 that collapsed the Stormont Agreement in Northern Ireland. because everything all just closed down. Electric went off, the whole fucking shebang. Labour wanted the working class people to do that on behalf of the miners. They failed to do that. And because they failed to do that, Labour decided that they needed a new core base, and that core base was going to be the foreigners. And the unions decided that they would get politically in bed with the Labour Party and push for these new people, these newcomers. And that's the last time that either Labour or the unions have been interested in the British people.
Well, you know, the hypocrisy of this with my dad. I worked all his life. He were a boilermaker, a welder. He worked for one company all his bloody life, from being a 14-year-old apprentice, yeah, all the way up to however old he was in 1983. Thatcher, she shut down Crewe, Swindon, Doncaster and Horwich railway manufacturing. All of them were shut down. It was cheaper to actually import trains from fucking Germany. At that point, there were people from this country going overseas to seek work. You remember Auf Wiedersehen, Pet?
Yep.
Yeah. So everything to hit the shit then. So I'm thinking to myself, how have things gone so catastrophically wrong? So I've done my own research and everything. Now, when my mother and dad decided to buy the council house in 83, 84, and my dad got his redundancy money because he had money in the bank, he wasn't eligible for full unemployment benefit. Now, there's no work for like a 55-year-old welder, you know, but he wasn't eligible. So my mother rang me uncle up. He's only just recently died, actually. He was the first as well. And my uncle was, I don't know what union he was actually allied with, but he worked in London 5 days a week. Yeah, he worked for whatever it were called, the umbrella group for the unions. And my mum rang my uncle up and said, "What shall we do with my dad's what's it? What do they call it? When you get paid off, basically, to quit your job. Whatever.
Redundancy.
Redundancy, thank you. When he got his redundancy money. And my uncle said, "Well, I've not told you this, but Thatcher's selling the council houses to buy it. So you'll have assets, but no money. And as a result of that, your dad will be able to then claim full benefits." Yep. So that was my uncle. It was old Labour, old staunch working class Labour, actually saying, "Buy your council house." Now, the Labour Party and the
Transport in General, TNG.
Whatever, Transport in General, or whatever the umbrella group is for the trade union. TUC. The TUC.
Right, yes.
It was against their policy to sell the council houses, and yet it was an old school Labour guy, trade unionist, high-ranking official. I've seen the picture of my uncle stood next to Harold Wilson with Dickie Bow on at some posh do down London. Yeah, Harold Wilson, Prime Minister in the 70s. You know, the guy from Leeds with pipe. Now, so my uncle said, "I've not told you this, I could get into very serious trouble. Thatcher's selling the council houses, buy it." So even the hypocrisy was running deep back then.
Oh, I need to address this, and then I'm going to come back to that point very quickly. Back Pigeon Pill, do you see Irish unification by 2030? Not a fucking chance in hell. They haven't got enough body bags for that. Because that is, if they do attempt that by 2030, there's going to be a lot of people to wake up the next morning. That's just the way that's going to go, because it's currently a powder cake. But yes, the reason why the Trade Union Council did not want their members buying council houses was then they have a mortgage as opposed to rent. And if you stop paying your mortgage, there's consequences. And they thought it was easier for them to get people who were renting the house out on strike.
Yeah. Black Pigeon Pill, that's a curious YouTube username. I wonder where you got that from.
Yeah.
Felix Rex.
Yes. Right, chum. I'm coming up. I'm over 2.5 hours, and it's 1:10.
Yeah,
I'm going to wrap this up. Have you any last thoughts?
Well, after 5 pints of homebrew?
Yeah, after 5 pints of homebrew, any last thoughts?
No, but no, we'll leave it there. I've got 2 fingers. I'll get that down my neck, and I'll get myself to Cape. It's been nice chatting.
It has been really nice chatting, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you very much, and Streaky. It's nice to actually. He said he were going to bed, but he's still at bloody chat.
Yeah, that's a typical Streaky thing. Nah, I'm trying to get my outro up. See, is this one going to work? No, that's not working. This is I'm going to have to have a look at this later, see why these aren't working, but I'm going to try. Yeah, hey, got it to work. Right. Thanks very much for coming on. As I say, welcome back anytime. I'm going to drop us out and play this outro.
Gets darker. The deeper you go down.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And the finder of lost children.
You only need a light to guide you, and an angel to walk beside you. I dare you to go down. You wanna know the truth, don't you?
I find the evil and the greedy under every turned rock, where I spit out the truth, the establishment mock. From all sides, I watch the opposition grow, trying to terminate the information flow. But the good book reminds me that I am blessed, protected and guided during every quest. In the valley of darkness, my way is clear. I carry a big stick and I show no fear. So prepare yourself for eternal damnation. In your nest of vipers I found my vocation. Are we so deaf that we cannot hear the screams of the children? Are we so blind that we cannot see? We are living in the depths of depravity. Are we so inept we let monsters roam, fueled on power and adrenaline? Are we so weak we cannot fight back, beholden to our masters? The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. But blessed is he who in the name of charity or goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. The finder of lost children. the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. But blessed is he who in the name of charity or goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. The finder of lost children. Lost children. Of lost children.
The rabbit hole. I dare you to go down.
Okay, everybody. I've been 42. The guests have been the guests. And you lot have, as always, been fucking amazing. Good night. God bless. See you all next week. Goodbye. I'm gone.